Good evening, everyone. Let's start with our lesson today. As I told you last week, last class we finished with all unit number 4. So I remember I told you to do page 38 and page 39 as homework, right? Because it was a review of all unit number 3 and unit number 4. So if you look at your book on page 38, you will see that here you have all the answers, okay? Again, one more time, remember the idea is that you do it first, or in this case, you are supposed to have finished this before. So now, using this PowerPoint presentation, you can check your answers, okay? There you have all the answers, and if you have any questions, just let me know. You can write me an email, or you can send me a mail voice on WhatsApp if something is not clear, okay? I'm not going to do the exercise here one by one because it was homework. So here you have all the answers in order to check them at home, okay? So now, there you have exercise number 2, the one that is on page, that one is on page number 38 if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so there you have all the answers as you can see. Now, today we are going to start with unit number 5. Okay, so please everyone, if you are there with your computers in front of you, I would like you to go and open your book on page 40. All right, so today we are going to talk about something that is very interesting, and here the title says, what are you wearing? What are you wearing today? I'm wearing, you are wearing. Yeah, when you talk about what, or when you ask this question about what somebody else is wearing, you are talking about clothes. Yes, clothes, pieces of clothes, like for example a dress, a shirt, pants, boots, jacket, sandals, a hat, and a suit. Yes, what other words related to clothes do you remember or do you know? So here on page 143, there is a bigger list of different clothes, as you can see here. All the people here are wearing different kind of clothes. So here what we need to do is to match these words with the appropriate piece of clothing each person is wearing. Okay, so since we don't have enough time to do the exercise, or since we don't have the audio to do the listening part, we are going to do something. Here you have the answers one by one, and I am going to read each of them so that you can see how each word is pronounced. Okay, so if you can do it in your house, you can repeat after me. You can practice the pronunciation at home so that it's easier for you to recognize how each word related to clothes are pronounced. All right, so here says number 1, t-shirt. This one, he's wearing a green t-shirt in this case. All right, t-shirt, shorts, socks, sneakers, hat, coat, gloves, scarf, suit, shirt, tie, jacket, pants, shoes, sweater, belt, jeans, blouse, skirt, sandals, jewelry, earrings, necklace, bracelet, dress, and boots. If you notice here, every number is connected with a piece of clothing here. For example, if you go to to this picture, and let's suppose you ask the question, what is she wearing here in the picture? We may say, or we can say, she's wearing a pink blouse. You can also include a color, huh? But you mentioned the color before. So you say, she's wearing a pink blouse, a black skirt, and sandals. Okay, so as you can see, the last time you mentioned something, or a piece of clothing, you use the word an. Let's try with the picture here, for example. What is he wearing? He is wearing a suit. All this is a suit, a tie, and a white shirt, right? Then we have, for example, this girl. Look at this. What is she wearing? She's wearing a black and white dress and boots. Oh no, but look at this. She's also, here you can also mention the accessory she's carrying. In this case, it's not wearing here. Here you can say carrying, okay? Because wearing is only for clothes. Remember, wearing is only for clothes. So here, let me show you here. We can say, for example, now let's suppose the question is this: what is she wearing? This is the question, yeah? What is she wearing? Here, if it is a boy, you can say he. I'm sorry. Oh no. Yes, here. If you are talking about a man, you say, what is he wearing, right? Or if you are talking about a girl, you say, what is she wearing? In this case, look at the girl here. What is she wearing? So maybe we answer. We can say she's wearing a black and white, a black and white dress. Give me 1 second. I am going to try to change the color so that it's easier for you to recognize. Yeah? Give me 1 second. I prepared this material before, but there are some details I still want to add to this. What is she wearing? Remember, we are talking about this girl. Huh? What is she wearing? She's wearing a black and white dress and boots. No? But if you see, she also has some accessories. So here we are not going to use wearing because wearing is only for clothes. So here you can say, what is she wearing? She's wearing a black and white dress and boots. And she's carrying, it comes from carry, but she's carrying a necklace. This is what a necklace. Earrings. No, this one, earrings, what you put on your ears, and a bracelet. Okay, so here you can see that we are describing what she is wearing, the clothes, and also what she is carrying, the accessories. Okay, so you can also mention the accessories she's carrying in this case. Right, let me change this. Where is this? I want to underline this, but this computer is so different to the one I usually use. But to record videos, this computer is very useful, but not to the kind of things I usually do on my laptop, for example, which is different. So that's why it's confusing for me every time I want to use this computer. All right, yeah. Okay, so the thing is that you notice that when you talk about clothes, you say wearing. And when you talk about accessories, you can say carrying. She's carrying, he's carrying, all right? Okay, so here, remember, we can also say, for example, here with the man here. The man on the brown coat. Here you can use. What is he wearing? In this case, you change the subject, right? So what is he wearing? So here you say he's wearing, let's see, he's wearing a brown coat, pants, I'm not sure what color they are, I think they are beige pants, a scarf, shoes, and gloves, no? Here you mention, remember when it's plural, you don't say I want you to look at the difference here. Here, let me see. I want you to look at the difference here, okay? Here, look at this. For example, here we are going to talk about the man, yeah? And here you say, what is he wearing? And you say, he's wearing, for example, you say, a brown coat. A brown coat, a hat, a scarf. Oh gosh. Oh, wait a second. A scarf. What else? Yeah, so we don't have anything else that is singular, so you can say brown or beige, right? Beige pants, green gloves, and brown shoes. Okay, so what I want you to notice here is that when you talk about something that is in singular, you say he's wearing a brown coat, because there's only one unit here. A hat, you're talking about this. A scarf, you're talking about this scarf. But here, when you talk about something that is in plural, like for example, pants, gloves, and shoes, you don't use okay? No, because it's something in plural. Okay, so now we can continue with the previous page. With the previous page that is, oh no, there we have this exercise, right? Here on the exercise we need to choose the correct words to complete the sentences. So as you can see in the first one, for example, says my pants are too big. I need and you need to choose one of the options here. If you need a necklace or you need a belt, according to this part. If my pants are too big, so what you need is definitely a belt and not a necklace, because a necklace is to put on around your neck. In number 2, there says Jim hates wearing a suit and a tie or a scarf. He prefers wearing jeans and a t-shirt. So here probably the answer, I'm not sure. Let's see. Yes, he hates wearing a suit and a tie. Here, a suit and a tie, and so on. You answer the questions or answer the correct options of each sentence, and then you check your answers using the answers you have here on the PowerPoint presentation, okay? Now, going back to page 40 on your books, go to page 40 on your books, please. Yeah, if you go to page 40 on your books, there's a reading exercise that is about celebrations around the world. What kind of celebrations do we have around the world that are very popular? The ones like for example, maybe the carnival, no, the Rio Carnival in Brazil. There's also one very famous festival which is in Argentina, I think. No, you know, oh, in Spain, I know that there are a lot of beautiful celebrations as well. So this is what we are going to read about now: celebrations around the world. And here, from picture letter A to C, we have pictures about 3 different celebrations. And what we need to do here, we need to read about each celebration, and then we have to match celebration number 1 to 3 with pictures A to C. Okay, so I'm going to read for you, and then I'm gonna read for you, and then we can do the answers together. Okay. Yeah, celebrations around the world. There says, number 1, Chinese New Year. My name's Hong, and I live in Shanghai. Today's January the 28th, and I'm celebrating Chinese New Year with my family. Chinese New Year always takes place in January or February, but the date changes every year. For example, it's on February the 5th in 2019, and on January the 25th in 2020. Before New Year, we clean our homes and decorate them in color red for good luck. Then we have a special dinner with our family and wear red clothes. I'm having dinner with my family now, and I'm wearing a red shirt. We're all having a great time. Number 2, Rio Carnival. My name's Anna, and I live in Rio de Janeiro. People from all over the world visit Rio on Carnival time. Carnival is one of the different dates every year, but it's always in February or March. It starts on Friday and finishes on Wednesday. Today is Sunday, February the 26th, the third day of Carnival, and I'm watching a parade with my friends. The dancers and musicians in the parade are wearing beautiful colored costumes. 3. Seville's April's Fair. I'm Antonio, and I'm visiting Seville this week for April's Fair. Fair. This is a fair. It's like feria in Spanish, like that. I live in Madrid, but I come to Seville every year in April. Today is April the 18th, the second day of the fair, and right now I'm walking around with my friends. The April Fair is a party for the whole city. It starts at midnight on Monday and finishes on Sunday. The women wear flamenco dresses, jewelry. Oh, what happened? It disappeared. And flowers in their hair. And the men wear suits and hats. Some people ride horses. The atmosphere is fantastic. So class, what we need to do now is to match each paragraph with the corresponding celebration, okay? So let's start with number 1. Number 1, Chinese New Year. I think this paragraph goes with picture letter C. Yeah, because one of the reasons is because of the orientalized they have, and also because here they mention that they mention something related to red. Look at this. Before New Year, we clean our homes and decorate them in red for good luck. So here you can see people wearing red clothes. So definitely paragraph number 1 goes with picture letter C. Number 2, Rio in Carnival, definitely letter B because of the colorful costumes and the colorful clothes the people are wearing, right? And here says that the dancers, the musicians in the parades, this is a parade. Yeah, that's a parade. And then are wearing beautiful, colorful costumes. This one, this picture. Parade is like, for example, when you say desfile, that's parade. The parades are wearing beautiful, colorful costumes. And the last one goes with this picture, no? Because I mentioned the horses, the atmosphere is fantastic. The women wear beautiful dresses and flowers on their heads, something like that. All right. Now, using this information, we have to match the sentences from 1 to 5 with the celebrations from 1 to 3. For example, this celebration takes place in Brazil. Which one takes place in Brazil? Number 2. So number 1 will go with number 2. A lot of people wear red for this celebration. Definitely that would be paragraph number 1, right? Paragraph number 1. This celebration starts on Friday. Here you have the answers for this. Okay. I think I got. Okay, so that's what here you have the answers so that you can check them with the information from the sentences. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you pay attention to paragraph number 1, there are some verbs that I would like you to pay attention to. Yeah, for example, here, leave, takes, changes. clean. And there we have another group of verbs like celebrating, having, having. We're all having a great time. We're celebrating Chinese New Year, for example. So, if you notice, these four verbs that we have underlined with red, they are verbs. And these ones, they are verbs as well. But what is the difference? Think about the difference on each verb. So if you notice the first group in red, those verbs are in the simple present, okay? And in the second part, we have these verbs that we have circled with blue. Those verbs are in the present continuous form. I know that we have talked about this before. We have talked about the simple present and also about the present continuous. But who remembers the difference between these two tenses? When do we use the simple present and when do we use the present continuous? This is very simple because, for example, remember that when you talk about the simple present, you talk about routines or habits, okay? To talk about things that are usually common or frequent in your daily life, yeah? Like, for example, when you say, I get up at 8 o'clock every day. I go to university from Monday to Friday. I go to work by Metropolitano, for example. That information or those details are about your routines, your habits. So you talk about that or you use that simple present. The present continuous. The present continuous, as you can see here, we have also talked about this last week. And remember, we use the present continuous to talk about actions in progress, actions that are happening at the moment of speaking. In general words, things that are happening now. Okay, like for example, when you say, I'm explaining, I'm giving an online lesson to my students now at this moment, or the students are listening to their teacher online, for example. That's something that is happening now. So that's why you use, or that's when you use the ing form. All right. Here I have an example so that, or on your book on page 41, there you have an exercise in number 3, the one that says complete the rules with a simple present or present continuous. And in number 1, there says we use the to talk about facts and things that happen regularly. And in number 2, we use that to talk about things that are happening now or temporary actions. So remember, it's very easy. When you talk about things that happen regularly or frequently, you use the simple present, okay? And to talk about things that are happening now or temporary situations or actions, you use that present continuous. Here you can see some examples on the same page. You have it always happens in January and February. I live in Shanghai, for example. Things here we have 2 examples of things that happen regularly or are always true. And on the second part, we have 2 sentences. One of them says, I'm having dinner with my family now. I'm visiting Seville this week. Things that are happening at this moment and things that are happening or things that are temporary. Okay, temporary is something that is happening these days, or that is happening lately, for example. Or we can say we're having online lessons this week, no, because of the emergency our country is having. We're having these online lessons. This is not something that always happens because you have registered for a presential course, but since we have this emergency, not only here in our country but around the world, so that's why we are having online lessons. You are studying online, yeah? Okay. Then we have here, if you look at page 120 on your books, we continue your books. There we have a group of exercise, extra activities that you can work or that you can use to practice this difference between the simple present and the present continuous, yeah? And here we can see some examples before we start with this. Using the simple present, things that are connected or that are about routines. Present continuous. Talk about actions that is happening at the moment of speaking. And here we have some examples. Look at this. I walk to school. I'm walking to school. Here, when you say I walk to school, that maybe you are referring to something that you do every day. I walk to university because I live very near from university. That's something part of my routine. But if I say I'm walking to university or I'm walking to school, so that means that you are doing it now. Okay, so maybe you call me and then Angela, what are you doing? Oh, I'm walking to university. Can I call you later? So because I'm doing it right now. Okay. So now what we need to do here in exercise number 1 and 2, we need to choose the correct option to complete the sentences and the questions, okay? Look at number 1. What do you do or what are you doing right now? So the correct option is are you doing. Why? Why not do you do? Because here says right now, remember. When we use present continuous, you say now, right now, at this moment. And when you talk about the simple present, we use usually, always, sometimes, every day, every week, once a month, those expressions. Yeah? So that's how you can see here why is correct to say what are you doing and not what do you do. Okay? And then we have is he or does he go there often? Does he go? Definitely. I told you before, whenever you have these words like always, sometimes, never, often, once a week, every day, simple present. Yeah? And then you continue with the other exercise. In number 2, you need to complete the sentences with a simple present or present continuous form of the verbs in parentheses. Complete the sentences using the verbs in parentheses. There you have in number 1. I read now. So here you need to use the present continuous here, it says, right? So here we complete I'm reading. Okay, so please remember that when you use a present continuous, it's not only, or it doesn't mean that you only need to change or that you only need to add ing, reading, going. Yes, you have to do that, but you also have to add the verb to be. So here I'm reading. He going? No, he goes to New York 3 times a year. Why? Because this is an expression that is used for simple present. Number 3, every summer, they visit every summer. How does Erica get to work today? How does Erica, oh, well, in that case, I think there is a mistake here. Maybe you can say, how is Erica getting to work today? How is Erica getting to work today? How is Erica coming to work today? Is she coming by taxi, by car, by Metropolitano, by train, by whatever? Yeah, so you are asking about something that is happening, let's say at this moment, even though it says today. Yeah, so you do the exercise and then you check the answers. And in exercise number 3, we have read the information, then complete a text about James. Here you can see some notes about James' daily routines and also about what James is doing now. So here we can read. First you read the information and then you complete using the verb to be, using the present continuous or the simple present. So So here we have James usually. So if it is something that you want to talk about that he usually does, where are we going to go to? A typical day or vacation? Typical day, no? Tea and toast for breakfast. So you need to look for a verb that goes with or that matches with tea and toast. So here we say James usually has tea and toast for breakfast. He wears a suit. He wears and not he is wearing because it's something that he does on a typical day. I know. Okay, so then in exercise number 4, here is this exercise is on page number 41 again. So please go to page 41 again, and here you have in the instructions, complete the interview with the correct form of the verbs in parentheses, which person from the text is the interview with. So there you have the verbs, and you need to use the verbs in parentheses to complete the sentences. Yeah, perfect. Number 1, hello, I'm from 103 FM radio. Are you having a good time? And then, yeah, it's amazing. We come every year. If it's something that you do every year, so it's about a routine. So we use simple present. Look at this expression, right now. When do we use right now? Present continuous. What are you doing right now? No? What are you doing right now? And then we're watching. What are they wearing? People at the fair always wear traditional clothes like that. Always wear. It's something that they usually do in their daily routine in this case. That is part of their routine. And then we have, do you live here? No, I'm just visiting the city this week. It's something temporary. Yeah? Okay, so you consider the difference between the simple present and the present continuous. Remember, the simple present is to talk about routines and habits and things that you normally do on the daily basis. And the present continuous is to talk about things that are happening at this moment or at the moment of speaking. Yeah, perfect. Now you can go to exercise number 5. Go to exercise number 5, please. And there, if you look at exercise number 5, we have a pronunciation exercise. Okay, you have a pronunciation exercise, and what we need to do is to match the festivals from 1 to 5 with the dates A to E. Oh no, we have, oh yeah, first we're going to do this exercise, okay? Which is about different festivals which are very popular and very well known around the world. So here says that we have to match those festivals with the corresponding dates. Some of them are very easy to recognize, but some of them are not. So let's do it together. New Year's Day. When is New Year's Day? When is it celebrated? New Year's Day, it's celebrated on January the 1st, or we can also say on the 1st of January. Okay, remember, it could be January the 1st or the 1st of January. So, yeah, the 1st of January. The second, US Independence Day. When is it celebrated? It's on July the 4th or on the 4th of July. The same here. The next, when is Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day? It's on January, January the 15th or the 15th of January. Good. And then we have Valentine's Day, a very nice celebration that people celebrate, no, in different countries. Here it says, when is Valentine's Day celebrated? It's on February the 13th or on the 14th of February. Good. Next, International Women's Day. It's on March the 8th, sorry, or on the 8th of March. So here you can see that these numbers have like 2 letters at the end. So here we don't say 15 and we say the 15th. Here, for example, this one is not the one, we say the first, no? So when do we use those numbers? Those numbers are called ordinal numbers. Okay, so these numbers, these ones here, the one that you have 15th, 8th, 1st, 4th, they are called ordinal numbers. And ordinal numbers are used when you want to talk about dates. So every time you talk about dates, you are going to use ordinal numbers. What is ordinal numbers? These ones. We don't say 1, we say first. We don't say 2, we say second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, the 20th, for example, 20th here, 21st, not 21, 21st, 30th, 23rd, 22nd. So ordinal numbers. Remember, when do we use ordinal numbers? To talk about dates, yeah? And if you notice, these two last letters, first, second, are used when you talk about dates. So for example, you say, when is your birthday? When is your birthday? And here you say, my birthday is on July the 2nd. And here you take the last 2 letters and you write them here, the N and the letter D, on July the 2nd. Or you can also say on the 2nd of July. July the 2nd or the 2nd of July. Yes? Good. And here you can see that when you want to ask about dates, you say when. When is your birthday? When is Valentine's Day? When is Independence Day? When is, let's suppose, Halloween, for example. When is Halloween? And here you just replace Halloween is on October 31st or on the 31st of October. Okay, good. So remember, that's when we use, or that's when we talk about, oh no, that's when we talk about ordinal numbers, to talk about dates. Okay, perfect. Now here we have a pronunciation exercise that, as I told you before, you can practice in your house, and you can pronounce after me if you want. The first one says, here we have pronunciation dates. Listen and repeat the dates. Which words are stressed? Yeah, Perfect. So everyone repeat with me. It's July the 14th. It's August the 25th. It's the 2nd of May. It's the 3rd of June. In pairs, say each day in two different ways. Listen, check, and repeat. It's April 1st, or it's the 1st of April. No. So here we can say it's July 4th, or it's the 4th of July. Next, how would you say the next number or the next date? It's August 8th, or it's the 8th of August. Yeah? It's September 12th, or it's the 12th of September. So as you can see, there are two ways. There are two different ways in which you can talk about the date, or in which you can say the date to another person. Okay, the only thing is that you have to use the ordinal numbers correctly, and as long as you use them correctly, you can use either of these ways of saying the dates. It doesn't matter, both of them are correct. Okay, the idea is to use ordinal numbers, as I told you, and of course, to use ordinal numbers you have to practice this chart. Yeah, you need to practice this chart and to get familiar with them so that you can use them whenever you have to talk about dates, or whenever you want to give information about maybe some important celebration. So this very important question, that is, when is your birthday, for example, and you say my birthday is on July the 2nd, for example, or the 2nd of July. No? Good. Now we are going to continue. Now that we have finished with that information, we're going to continue with page 42. Everyone go to page 42. And here on page 42 we have read the introduction of the text and discuss the questions in pairs. This part is very simple because it's just reading, but well, anyway, we have to pay attention because there are some new expressions and some useful words that you can use. Okay, so here, what do we have in the instructions? There says, read the introduction of the text and discuss the questions in pairs. Do you wear a uniform at school or at work? If so, if you do it, you say yes. So you describe your uniform to your partner, what you wear, or what your uniform consists of. And if you don't, you have to answer if you think your uniforms are a good idea or not. Well, at schools, you know that at schools uniforms are compulsory. You have to wear a uniform, right? Well, some schools don't have that rule, like the pre-university preparation schools. The students do not have to wear uniforms, but most schools, they have to wear, because they are part of the school rules or the school instructions that students have. No? So here it says that here we have a chart with information about, that says, identifying facts and opinions. What is the difference between a fact and an opinion? So that's what we're going to read here in the text. So, but let me explain you first. When you talk about a fact or an opinion, there's a small difference between those statements. For example, when you talk about a fact, it's something that is a true piece of information. Okay, and when you give an opinion, or when you talk about an opinion, is not an opinion. You can say I think, my gosh, I suppose. You can use those expressions. But when you talk about a fact, they are pieces of real information. So here in the text, we are going to read about uniforms. In general, we have some information about maybe people describing the kind of uniforms they wear, if they like their uniforms or not. So what we need to do is to read first, and then we have to, according to the information we find there, we have to match here the names with the, read the skill box of the text, find one fact about each person. Yeah, so we are going to read, and then we have to find a fact for each person. What is a fact? As I told you before, a piece of real information, remember. Yeah, perfect. So once you read these, once you finish reading these, you have to find a piece of a fact about Richard, for example. In this case, a piece of real information or a fact about Richard would be that Richard wears a uniform to school every day, right? Now, another piece of information that is real about Maria. Maria works in a fashion, Maria works in fashion, I think. So that's real information we have in the text about those people. That's why they are called facts. Yeah? Good. So there you have the answers. These are the answers for this exercise. Here you have the answers. Okay? For the last part of this reading activity, there is a question that says, read the text and answer the questions. Which person thinks that uniforms aren't for everyone? Which person thinks that his or her uniforms are not nice? And so on. You have to, this is going to be like homework for you. You can do it on your own, okay, as a piece of reading exercises. In this case, you have to read, and you have to match each person or a name with one of the statements here in this sentence. Good. Here says adjectives. Adjectives often show someone's opinion, and they come before a noun and after the verb to be. So here you have to read and then to answer these questions here. But we are not going to stop here because this is not the idea. You can do this part as homework, since this is a complementary activity that you can do at home. Take your time to read, then answer the questions. I have helped you with some of them. Now you can continue, okay? Now I would prefer if we go to the next activity, that is grammar. All right, so let's see. On the next page, that will be on page 44, there is a unit in which we are going to talk about things. Do the things you love, there says. Do the things you love. When you do the things you love, so what do you think you're talking about? So maybe it could be like hobbies, yeah? You know what are hobbies? Hobbies is when you do something that you like, that you enjoy, for example, or something that you are good at, for example, no? In my case, for example, something that I like doing is, let's see, dancing, for example. It could be dancing, playing volleyball as well. So those are things that I enjoy, that I like doing. Yeah. So here says work in pairs and match the verbs in the box with the pictures from 1 to 5 in the text. Yeah. And there is a text if you check here, and there are 5 pictures. And what we need to do here is to match these words, these expressions, with the pictures from 1 to 5. So, first, repeat after me and then you do the exercise, okay? The first is sew, sew, bake, take photos, paint, and make jewelry. Make jewelry, jewelry, jewelry. What is jewelry? Jewelry is like necklace, earrings, rings, bracelets. Those are jewelry. Yes? Yeah, so now we need to match them with the corresponding word. One of the words with a corresponding picture. The first one would be number 1, make jewelry. As you can see, this person is making some bracelets, like some necklaces. In the second part, we have that. In the second part, we have that is maybe someone who's painting, no? That would be paint. Then we have take photos. Number 4, sew, no, sew, which is coser, sew. And the last one, bake. When you bake a cake, bake chicken could be as well. No, that's bake, which is hornear. Yeah, that's bake. So now we are going to go to a page in which we are going to see more words related to activities people like doing or people enjoy doing. So now go to page 144, and there you can see that we have some other activities, some other words related to hobbies, as I told you at the beginning of today's class. Hobbies, things that people like doing or things like people enjoy doing. Yes. So now you look at the pictures and you look at the pictures and you have to match with the words from the box. Perfect. Now, which words do we have in the box? The first, collect, play, make, sew, knit. This is what my grandmother does. Sing, dance, take, write, paint, draw, and bake. So now we need to match each word with one of the pictures. I'm gonna give you 1 minute to try to do it on your own. Then I'm gonna show you the answers, okay? So from now on, you have 1 minute to do the matching. Match the words with the corresponding pictures. Okay, now here you have the answers and you can check if you have answered correctly before, how each word goes with one of the hobbies. Good. Now, here in exercise number 2 and 3, we continue on the same page. Remember, we continue on page 144. Here you have to match the hobbies with the descriptions. You have to read first, and then we have to match each description with a corresponding hobby. Okay, so the first one would say these hobbies are connected to music. Which hobbies from the list are connected to music? The first one would be maybe sing, dance, play a musical instrument could be, yeah, play a musical instrument, no more, right? So this is what you have to do. You have to connect these descriptions with one of the hobbies from the list. So once you try to figure out the answers for each sentence, you check with this. Yeah, but remember, first you do it on your own and then you check your answers. And then in the second part, we have choose the correct words to complete the sentences. Which words can complete each sentence on the list? Oh my gosh. The first one, right now, I'm drawing a sweater, or right now I'm knitting a sweater. I want to finish it before the winter. So drawing sweater, I don't think that's drawing a sweater. The correct option here is knitting a sweater. Knitting, knitting. That is tejer, that's knitting. Knit, all in the ing form in this case, knitting. Yes? Good. So here the first one would be knitting a sweater. Number 2, I collect, my favorite one is made of gold. If you collect something and it's made of gold, which is a material, what do you think would be the correct answer? Stamps or coins? So the answer here is coins. No, you collect coins, not the stamps, because coins are not made of, stamps are not made of gold. Good job. Then you check your answers. Here, as you can see there, you have all the answers for sentences from number 1 to 8. One more time, guys, remember the idea here is to do the exercise on your own first, and then to compare your answers. Okay, good job. Now we can go back to page 44, to the page in which we were talking about hobbies. We're talking about hobbies. So here you have this one. Oh, this one here. Here we have some questions, no? We have some questions about the text. Number 1, how does Sandra make money? How does she make money? She makes money. Here in paragraph number 1, you can see she makes jewelry to make money. Yeah? So that's how she makes her money. She makes jewelry. Number 2, what does Paul paint? And if you look at the paragraph from page number 2, there says that that Paul paints. He usually goes to their clients' homes, and then he goes back to his office and he paints, no? And then there says that basically they finish at home. He finishes at home, then he gives the activity again. Good. So here in number 3, it says, do people buy Alexa's photos directly from her? Do people buy the photos directly from her? If you look at paragraph number 3, you will see that there says, we have information that there says people can use them for free. So she puts the photos on, I think on internet sites, on photo libraries, and people cannot people have to pay to download those photos, no? So there we have some information about Alexa's photos. Number 4, how does Edith sell her clothes? She sells her clothes at a local market. Here we have. And finally, where do people buy Alain's pictures? So people buy them, or he sells them to local stores. Good job. Remember that you can use this material to read it again at home as many times as you think it's necessary. And the idea here is I decided to record a video before so that you can check the material at home, and you can stop the video as many times as you think it's necessary, because the last time we had classes it was using the this WhatsApp interaction, but the problem was that I was sending the videos in parts, so it was not easy to follow, no? Easy to follow the class. So that's why. So that's why remember that you have this material. Remember that you have this material to check it at home and to do it and well, to read it at home, to check the material, and to practice it as many times as possible. But let's go with this part that is about some sentences. We have to complete the sentences here, and according to the information, we need to complete them using the words from the box. Okay, so which words do we have in the box? The words that we have in the box are can use, can pay, can make, and can earn. So we need to read the text in detail, and we have to complete the paragraphs from number 1 to 4 in order to complete the words, to complete the sentences with one of the words from the box. So let's see. Number 1, which option do you think would be the correct one to complete the sentence? So probably is number C, about $150 a month. $150 a month. So I think that the correct option is she can earn. She can earn about $150 a month. Who's that person? Who's that person? Sandra. Sandra is the person that she can earn $150 a month from doing her favorite hobbies. Right? Then we have people can use them for free. It's about the pictures that Alexa takes. People can use them, but they have to pay. No, it's necessary for them to pay in order to use Alexa's photographs. And the next day says they can pay to download them. If people want to download the pictures, is that they can pay if they want to download it. And the last one is that I can make money simply by doing what I love. The first, that information, if I'm not mistaken, is about paragraph number 4, right? So if you look at those sentences, all of them are with one word that is can, or in this case, can't. You might have seen this expression before. You might have seen this expression before that is used with a verb next to it. And if you notice, this one is in affirmative and this one is in negative. So when do we use that? Here we have in the box, that is the grammar box, that is on page 145. 45, please remember. Here we have that you can talk about, or you can use can to talk about abilities, to talk about possibilities, and as well to talk about permission. And here you have a couple of examples for each use. All right, and here you have in the affirmative, the negative, and the affirmative form as well. Before we do another exercise about these, let's look at some exercise or some examples how you can use or when we use this can or can't. The first one, and the most common, is to talk about abilities. What is an ability? Is to talk about something that is easy for you, that's something that you can do, something that you have no problems doing. So that's when we use can or can't. And here in the example you can see she can draw. So you can see in the picture here that she has no problem drawing. So you say she can draw. Here she can play the piano, but she can't sing, for example. In this case, it's the negative, no? She can't sing. And the last one, she can cook very well. Look at the girl, look at her cooking. So that's something that she cannot do, that is not easy for her, that is not possible for her. That's why we are using the negative form, okay? It's like, for example, when you say I, you can also say I, if you're talking about yourself. You say, I can play volleyball, for example, but I can't play tennis. I have no idea about this sport, so I can't. This is something that I can do in my case. I can't. Yes. So as you can see here, we have some examples, and here we have a chart in which you can see how this modal verb, because this is a modal verb, it is used in the affirmative form, in the negative form, and in interrogative is very easy because you just change the position. So you say I can, you can, you just change. Can you, can he, can she. Yeah. Here the best part is that you don't have to change here. You use the same for all the subjects. And the verb is the same. There's no s, es, ing, nothing. The verb in the base form. In the base form. Okay? And the same in negative and the same in interrogative form. You just change the position. You say, for example, can you cook? Can you dance? Can your mother speak another language, for example? Yeah. So you say here affirmative answer, yes, I, you, he can, or no, I, you, he, she, it can't. Okay, perfect. So here on page 121, there's an activity in which you have to look at this chart, the names, the verbs, no? And also here you have some checks and some crosses with information if they can or if they can do these things. So here we need to complete using can or can't. According to what? According to this information, yeah? And if you look at the first name, here says Craig. Craig cook, but he speak French. So here you look at Craig cook, yes. So if it's yes, if there's a check, you say can. Craig can cook. There's no problem for him. And here, but remember when you have a but, it's a negative form. Okay? But he speak French. Okay, there's a cross here. So in these cases, can't. So as you can see here, we are using those sentences, and in this case they are connected using this word, that is but. Remember, if you use but, here you have affirmative and here you have negative, or here you have negative and affirmative, because this word is to contrast information. Okay, you can say teacher Angela can speak English, but she can't speak Chinese, for example. I can't speak Chinese, and I don't want to, because I don't want to know anything with Chinese things. I don't want to know anything about that. So so here you can see the difference, or here you can see how this word but is used. And then you continue with the same with sentences number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and you have to complete them using can or can't. The first, number 2, Helen played tennis. If you look at Helen play tennis, Helen, no. So we say Helen can't play tennis. But she can drive, for example. Great. Helen and Manuel speak French. Craig, Helen, and Manuel speak French. So we have that they can speak French. And Manuel cook. Manuel can't cook, but he can drive. And finally, Sylvia cook and speak French. Can she cook and speak French? Yes, she can. Sylvia can cook and speak French. Good job. And the last one, Craig, Helen, and Manuel can drive. Good. So here you can see that in all the sentences, or in all cases, you need to use the verb in the base form, please. Remember that here we don't have to change the letter S or nothing. Here you can see that all the verbs are being used in the base form, in the simple form. Yeah, you only change this if it is affirmative, like this, or if it is negative, like this. And if it's interrogative, you change the position. Greg can cook. Can Greg cook? So you just change the position here. Correct. Now let's continue with the next exercise. And the instruction says, write short answers to show or to ask the questions about the people in exercise number 1. We have to write short answers here in this case. So here, for example, question number 1 says, can Sylvia drive? How do we make the short answers? If you look at, well, I'm not going to go back, but here is you just say if it is yes or no. Here you say yes or no. And in this case, it's about Sylvia. So you say no, she, because you're talking about Sylvia. No, she can't. No, she can't. Can Craig play tennis? Yes, he can. In this case, we use he because you're talking about Craig. And here we change he. If you say no, remember, can't. If you say yes, can. Now you have some minutes to do the exercise from page number, from exercise number 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to give you some seconds to do them before we check them, and then we check the answers, okay? Okay, now here, look at the answers and check if your answers are okay or not. Now, once you have checked if your answers are okay or not, we are going to continue with the next exercise, the next activity. Here you have number 3. And this is a very interesting activity, guys, because here you will see how these can and can't are used for, especially when you talk about permission, or when you are give, or when you don't give permission to something. For example, look at these signs. These ones are signs, yes? Signs that you can see in different places, everywhere in the street, whatever. And here what you need to do is to look at the signs very carefully and to complete each sign with one of the expressions here. Of course, obviously using the expressions can or can't. Okay? So let's look at sign number 1. And there the sign says letter P of parking, and here we have only 1 hour, there says. So which expression do you think goes with this sign? Here, park 1 hour. Oh, look at this. Park here for 1 hour. But if you look at this sign, what do you think you need to use? Can or can't? Think about your answer. So in this case, you need to use, you can park here for an hour. Then in number 2, we have in number 2, look at the signs. So here says you can pay with a credit card. So you have the permission to do it. There's no problem if you do that. All right, that's what this sign is telling you. Number 3, you can't ride a bike on this street, but because there's the no, there's the sign that you cannot do it, right? So here says you can't ride your bike here. And finally, we have you can't walk on the grass, right? So in this case, these signs are not related to abilities, like I can cook, Cristiano Ronaldo can play football very well, or Gaston Acurio can cook very well. These are not about, these sentences are not about abilities. In this case, these sentences are about permission, remember. And when you use can and can't, you can use them to talk about abilities, permission, or possibilities as well. Yeah, but the use is the same. As you can see here, you have the same can or can't plus the verb in the base form. The verb in the base form in all those 4 cases. Yeah, in all those cases. Good. Okay, and here we have some pronunciation exercise before we continue with the next part of the book. Here we have listen and repeat how these words or how these sentences, including can or can't, are pronounced. Number 1, there says, my brother can speak Italian. I can ride a bike. My sister can play the violin. You can sit here. Can you knit? Yes, I can. Can John play chess? No, he can. There we have. So say the sentences, listen, check, and repeat. The same, we are going to continue with pronunciation on this activity. I can't swim. You can sell your cakes here. Can I ask you questions? Can I ask you a question? Sorry. Yes, I can. Or yes, you can. David can sew. Ellie can sing. Can you cook French food? No, I can't. Okay? So, here on this exercise, you need to complete the sentences using can or can't. But here, you need to complete them according to your ideas, to your opinions, because here it says, imagine you are the manager of a store. So you decide here. If you are the manager, you decide. And if you decide, So that means that you decide on the rules or you decide on the permissions that your employees have. For example, the first one says, let's suppose I am the manager. All right, so if I am the manager, I have the possibility to decide. So number one for me, for example, let's suppose I'm the manager. Here says, you wear your own clothes at work. So if it were a company I own, I would say that you can't. Yes, well, that's in my case. I would say that you can wear your own clothes at work. Because sometimes it's better if, especially if it is something related to customers, to clients, and for example, like in a store, like in a restaurant or something like that, it's better if people or if employees wear uniforms, since this is like is more representative to the company. That's why I think it's important that employees use or wear um, uniforms in this case. Yeah, but as I told you here in exercise number 6, you decide if it is can or can't. Okay, perfect. Now going on with exercise number 7, the one that you have on your book. Here says match the sentences from 1 to E. Match the sentences from 1 to E. Let's see what we need to do here. Here says you can go swimming in the ocean here because we don't have a beach. So here you need to match this sentence with one of the headings here from from letter A to E. Yes. So for example, number 1, you can go swimming in the ocean. Is it about your abilities? Your abilities, the things that you can do, people that can do in the town or city, or things that people can do in the city? What is this sentence about? Correct. Perfect. So here is maybe if you can do this, it's something that, let me think. It's something that things that people can do in your town or city, no? Yes, number 1 is letter D. Yes, so then you read the sentences and you have to match them with the corresponding heading here from letter A to letter E. Yeah, and you have the answers here so that you can check your answers on this activity. Take your time, read the sentences as many times as you think it is necessary, or you think it's necessary for you. But remember that you have this material to stop whenever you want and to go back and to revise it again. So that's why I prefer to record a video before we have our class. Yeah? Okay, perfect. So now oh, that will be everything about this part. Let me see. Give me 1 second because we need to we need to go to the book. Let me see, where is it? To the book, yes. Go to your books. That's on page number 46. Yeah, page 46 on your books, please. We are about to finish here. 46. Okay, so before we start here with this exercise, oh, no, that's not unit number 6. We are going to finish with this speaking part. Yeah, in this speaking part, we need to Here we have just some vocabulary. It's just to check the vocabulary. Remember, guys, here in unit number 5, we already finished with the grammar points, but we are going to cover these as well. Okay? Here in exercise number 1, we have, do you enjoy shopping for these things? Like books, food, clothes, shoes, jewelry, sports equipment, and birthday presents. Do you enjoy shopping for them? I know that shopping isn't something that not all people necessarily like or that not all people necessarily enjoy, especially men that find this activity kind of boring for some of them. But that's something that girls love doing, right? We girls really like shopping and we take our time, we are very indecisive. It's not really easy when we want to decide about what to buy, no? So here we have some activities that, some things that people enjoy doing, in this case, shopping. Here says, do you like shopping for these in these places? When you go shopping, where do you like shopping for these things? Like, for example, department stores, supermarkets, markets, local stores, online, or shopping malls. Where do you like going or where do you like shopping when you go for these things? Good job. Department store, a department store, remember, it's something like, for example, a Replay, Saga, those are department stores. Yeah, a supermarket, it's something like Metro, Plaza Vea, and market, local stores, online, and shopping malls, they are different in this case. So, for example, when you want to buy books, where do you usually shop for these things, or where do you usually go shopping when you want to go shopping for books? In my case, for example, I really like going to department stores because it's a place where you can find and you can buy different things. At the same time, I like going to markets as well because there you can buy fresh food for your family at very cheap prices, and they are usually cheaper than things or the items that you buy at a supermarket, for example. Huh? What else do we have here? Okay, we have some words related to shopping. So, yeah, perfect. And here we have, well, the problem is that this activity is to be done with listening, but we don't have the audio. But we're going to do it anyway because this is a speaking activity at the same time. Yeah? So let's see. Here we have listen. No, this is not going to be possible to do it because there's this watch the video and then answer. No. So we are not going to do this. Here we have, let's go to the other exercise. Here we can see some sentences related to shopping. And here says, conversation builder, shopping for clothes. Shopping for clothes. When you want to go shopping or when you go shopping, there are some expressions that you use, some useful words that you can use whenever you go shopping to one of the places we have mentioned before. Okay? For example, the first one says, do you have this suit or do you have these jeans? Do you have these suits or these jeans in blue or in a size 38, in a medium, for example? So you use this expression, do you have? do you have? Good job. And then we have, but the difference here in this case is that when you talk about different items or different things, and when you want to indicate them, you can use these words here. This, that, these, or those. Okay? For example, here says, you can say, look at this. I like this t-shirt, this one, because it's here in my hand. I have it with me, so that's why you use this. Or you can say, I like that shirt. And if you check the difference here between the first and the second, is that here, this is near, yeah? Está cerca. And this one is far, that's why you use that. And in the other it says, I like these t-shirts, these. So here you may probably need to use the plural form. The plural form, which is these. It sounds similar to this, but it's like a little bit longer, these. And the other is, I like those shirts. It is in plural as well. But the difference is that here you mention them in the plural form, and that you use them for plural nouns. Okay, and here we can practice this conversation, but using these items of clothing. The one, like for example, dress. In this case, dress, you can use it with this or that. No, you can say, I like this dress, or I like that dress. The next here, jeans. With jeans, for example, jeans is plural, so you can say, I like these jeans, or I like those jeans, which is in the plural form. And then here says offering help. When you go to let's say to a supermarket or to a department store, sometimes it's necessary to use this, or sometimes it's common to hear these expressions, like when offering help. For example, here says, are you all right? Do you need any help? Can I help you? Just a minute, I'll check. I'll show you. For example, here says, no? Let me ask someone. So you probably might hear this expression from people who are working for a department store, for a supermarket, whatever you go shopping. No? So it's also advisable to listen to those expressions, so that whenever you listen to them, you are ready, and you are ready to understand those expressions. Okay, let's see. Here says, read the skill box and complete the conversation. Listen and check. The first one, yes please, I'm looking for jackets. So which expression do you think you need to use here to complete this dialogue, or which question would go with this sentence? Maybe, can I help you? No? Maybe you go to Saga, for example, and somebody asks you, can I help you? Yes, please, I'm looking for jackets, for example, you say. And then number 2, thank you. Do you have this jacket in a large? Let's see, what question do you think would be necessary to answer this, or which question do you think it's necessary for this sentence? Let me check. So maybe the question that you need to use here, thank you, do you have this in jacket? Do you need any help, for example? no? Or you can say, yeah, do you need any help? I think that's the best expression that you can use in this case too. And the last one, thank you very much. I'll be right back, and here you are. So maybe the expression that you need to use here, let me see. I'm not sure in this case. Let's see. I'll be alright, thank you very much. I'll show you, or let me ask someone, for example. Let me ask someone. I'll be right back. Oh, here you are, for example. So, as you can see there we have different examples in which you can use those phrases, especially when you go shopping. Those expressions are gonna help you a lot to interact with other people, or to also to answer to some ideas or some requests that people may have in a real life situation. Okay, so guys, that would be everything for this part. Remember that here in this part, the speaking activities that we are working with are present continuous versus simple present, and also can and can't. Okay, the rest of activities are, as I told you before, I'm not saying that they are not important. They are important, because there we have new expressions, new words, different things that you can use when you speak, or when you, for example, write something. They are very useful, but the most important parts here are the ones that are about grammar. In this case, the one that is present continuous and present simple, that was in number 5, letter A, and can and can't, that was 5, unit number 5, it was 5, letter C. Okay, so as I told you before, guys, check the material. Here you have the video to stop, go back, repeat the video as many times as possible, and at the same time to look at your books, and also to practice using the PowerPoint presentation I have just given you. Okay, that will be everything for today. I'm going to be connected as well, so that if you have any questions or something that you want me to help you with, I'll be there to answer as many questions as you have about this. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.